Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal Peace Love Music with another Stacks morning update. Good morning, Stacks, and good morning to all of you. It's Friday, heading into the weekend. What a crazy week. We've had a lot of great stuff going on, and I am super bullish on our ecosystem. Finish the week strong. There's a lot going on today still. And also, please remember, we are a news show. We provide information and for informational purposes only. We are not providing financial advice. Always do your own research. Definitely don't make investment decisions based on my opinions about things. I often get it wrong. So with that in mind, we do want to let everybody know, again, good morning. Say it back in the comments if you're watching. We always love the more people that let us know and chat with us in the comments, the better. The more feedback we get for if we're doing a good job and if you like what we're doing. So please don't hesitate to join the conversation in the chat if you're watching on a medium that allows for chatting. Bitcoin is in at 61,174 this morning, just a few minutes ago. That's only slightly above where we were yesterday morning. Stacks is up to $1.70. That's a few cents higher, so a little bit up. Still holding on to that number 35 market cap, number 35 space by total market cap. Fear and Greed Index has gone down to 37. Was a little bit of a fearful day in the market. Things did dip down. Bitcoin got down to just under 59 at one point yesterday, but it has snapped back up. And the top three gainers for the day on CoinMarketCap for the past 24 hours are Tia, Sui, and Say. And I actually hold small bags in all three of those. So it's a good morning for Peace Love Music. Feeling good about where we are in the space. And I love stacks. I'm definitely, if there's such a thing as a stacks maxi, I'm probably leaning in that direction. Obviously, you have to be into Bitcoin to be a stacks maxi. And I guess I'm not a stacks maxi per se, because I do love a lot of other projects, both being built out on stacks, on Bitcoin, and around Bitcoin, and even some other chains outside of there that I think will add value to the space and provide opportunities for people. And that's really what it's all about for me, is more opportunities for more people, holding more holding more value, retaining more of the value that people create for themselves. That's the part of the ethos, or the function, the end result of the ethos that I'm looking most forward to in our space. Let me jump into the Stacks calendar, and you guys will notice there's a QR code up here on the left. If you can see it, it might be under. It's under some things for me. But that is a direct link to the Stacks calendar, so you can always check it out for yourself. Today we have the weekly SIP call is at noon. It's from noon to 1, and that is on an X space. And we are looking for people to get involved. This is not just for developers and core devs and coders on building on Stacks, building on the main chain, and building out the processes on Stacks and building out the improvement proposals. This is for everyone using this space. You're using Stacks. If you're building on Stacks, you're engaging with projects on Stacks, you're using products on Stacks, or you're just looking to learn more about Stacks, the SIP call is a great place for us to get together and learn what's coming, learn about what's coming, engage in what's coming, provide feedback for the things that are being built, and then also come up with ideas and share ideas about things that might also be good improvements for the ecosystem. The more feedback we can get from the community into these processes, the better off everything that comes out of it will be. So get involved. Join the SIP call today if you can. It's at noon Eastern on an X space hosted by Hero Gamer. At 2 p.m., Good for Bitcoin, the Trust Machines show. That's from 2 to 3, also on X. Great time. Trust Machines puts out a ton of great products on the Stacks ecosystem, on the Stacks chain. Check them out, and always good stuff on their show on Fridays. At 3 p.m., we have Stacks Africa updates and chill session. That's a new show. I'm really excited about what's being built out with Freddie at Stacks Africa. So I'm super happy to see their show at 3 today. 4 to 5 is Stacks Nigeria, pushing the narrative. That's Sam's group. Again, another great group of guys building out stuff on Stacks and expanding the community and the community reach. So check them out at 4 o'clock Eastern time today. And then 5 to 7 every Friday, Nakamoto Friday with Dan and B-Rad. Dan Trevino is an OG. They're both OGs in the space. They've been doing it forever. It's a great atmosphere, lots of good conversation, lots of great personalities drop in to join the conversation there. So if you're around between 5 and 7 Eastern tonight, check that out. And also today is World Blockchain Summit in Dubai. I know a number of people that are out there. I'm hoping they're having a great time and killing it with some pitching to some investors out there. So some great stuff happening in the space this week, today in the Stacks calendar. One thing that's going on right now, you guys need to check out Rubes. And I know that there's been some. So number one, if you guys don't know, Rubes is the founder of LeoCoin, and there's been some communication. Some people have been referring to him as Reubs, and I thought I had the name wrong. So I actually asked him specifically, is it Rubes or Reubs? And he said it's Rubes, and it's a great name to go with Rubros, which is true. He also is a Ru guy as well as a Leo guy. Great guy in the space. He's doing tremendous work on a number of fronts. And yesterday, he actually created a thread in the Dex Screener Discord channel to get Stacks added to the Dex Screener platform, which is it's amazing that Stacks isn't there, being the number 35th overall token by market cap, and all of the different projects that are just killing it in Stacks right now. It's only a matter of time that before we'll get on there. As of a couple of hours ago, so he created a thread and he's looking to get 500 reacts. As of a couple of hours ago, it was over 400. So we only need probably a little less than 100 more now. So go to Dex Screener Discord channel. The link to that is in the tweet from Rubes. So you can go, it's at Rubes_BTC. And you go to his Twitter feed, his X channel, and you can get the link right there. Join the Dex Screener Discord channel, and then find the Stacks listing thread. You'll be able to see it. It's all capitals. It's just a little bit lower than the general chat. And go in there and fire react on that, the first post on that thread, so we can get the attention of Dex Screener. And by the way, the poor intern running the Dex Screener Discord channel, all the comments in the general section are driving the poor guy crazy. So let's keep doing that too, even though he's begging people to stop. Stacks is inevitable, and they need to know that over at Dex Screener. So let them know. It is Friday. There will be a post on the Stacks Link channel very soon for Taco-vation Friday. Nominate someone for a Taco-vation award. And remember, both the top recipients and the top nominators for the monthly, will be receiving reputation badges from Zero Authority DAO. So it pays both to earn some recognition. If you're doing stuff to help people out and you get a Taco-vation award, you also can get a reputation badge. And if you're nominating people and showing some appreciation for their efforts in the space, you can also earn a reputation badge from Zero Authority DAO. And that's going to go a long way down the line. Reputation, on-chain reputation is going to be a huge piece of the puzzle as we move forward in the space. So this is your opportunity to get some really easily. But also it really makes you feel good to show someone some appreciation too. It makes them feel good, and that feels good. So show some appreciation. That post should be coming out probably shortly after this show. And we're excited about that. Oh, also, I actually have 5 whitelists to give away for Bobby Chisel. And for the Screen Fiends NFT that's launching soon. I need to get those whitelists in today. So we have another contest. The first 5 people that comment on the show this morning, I want a whitelist for Screen Fiends. The first 5, you got to be one of the first 5. The first 5 that comment, I want a whitelist for Screen Fiends, is going to get a whitelist from DeOrganized Media. So check that out. And Honey Badger, there's still a couple hours left for his promo. Honey Badger is a token that is currently in the Stack City bonding curve. He has a promotion that's running through noon p.m. Eastern time today. The 3 largest buyers of the Honey Badger token on the bonding curve event on Stack City will receive bonus Welsh. He's got 500,000 Welsh that he's distributing out to the top 3 minters. So if you're thinking about buying a bag of Honey Badger, now's the time. Now is the time. And also, those that don't know, recently been a little bit more conversation about the runes that Rubros are in line to get. If you did not know, the Stacks Invaders actually have an allocation of runes claim attached to them. Also, OG Rubros will have access to runes, and that is runes with 10 O's. 10 O's in runes. That's how you have to pronounce it. Love what Jack's doing over there and what they're getting into over there. And I'm super excited about the space. In fact, I actually have a great guest again. It's Friday morning, and Jack Binswitch is here to talk with us today. What's
Good morning, man?
Today, man?
Man, it's a cool day. Yesterday that Bitcoin dip, people panic. And what did they panic for? We're basically right back where we started. It's basically Groundhog Day until it's not, right? And that's one of the things for people to keep in mind in this space. Patience is one of the hardest parts. And when you say like the market's choppy, that's what it means. Like when you're watching that chart and you see the sideways price action, it largely consists of people buying and then selling lower than they bought and then rebuying and just winding up setting themselves further and further behind. So, the sky's not falling. Everything is like really cool. And man, we have so much going on. We were talking about Rubes earlier. He's an example of the caliber of visionary and builder we have in this space. And, when you see that, when you can recognize that, you understand you're probably in the right place. If you're in Stacks, you want as many of those people there as you possibly can have. And we've got a bunch of them, and we're working hard on our end in our community to help elevate people and help get them recognized for their their talents and their participation. Because here's the reality, dude. You go back a little ways, not too far back in the past, and there's very few people on Stacks, and so many of the familiar faces that people know by now and talk about and talk to have just been here grinding this whole time for no benefit other than the benefit of the vision that what layer 2s ultimately mean for Bitcoin, right? And Rubes is among those kind of people, right? Because if you paying attention, you really understand, hey, Ethereum on Bitcoin is necessary. And you understood that well beyond the masses. Most people, if you know, and you were here for this, it wasn't until ordinals got really popular that people started talking about Bitcoin L2s. And then all of a sudden, all of the money starts going into, flowing to building Bitcoin L2s. So, we're very fortunate that we have such a solid foundation of community, because just like you, just like so many of us, we're just here putting in the time and the effort and to help grow this thing. There's been no like material benefit to it. There's been no artificial stimulation of that. You want to be real, right? And this is as real as it gets. So yeah, could be.
100%. Yeah, exactly. It's I do remember when ordinals I got into ordinals because of you just before it went bananas, actually.
Yeah,
I didn't ape into ordinals. I'm very committed to the Node Rocks community. I'm a Node Rocks whale. I do have a few other projects that I like, and I have a few of them here and there. But you're absolutely right. That excitement and everything drove a lot of just attention to the L2s and the other stuff that's being built on the space. And I actually remember us having you may not remember this, but one of the first conversations you and I had on X was probably over a year ago. And I was just figuring out what was going on Stacks. And I actually said to you, I think it was you, wait until all the ordinals kids realize that they can do this on Bitcoin on Stacks for a lot cheaper and with a lot more functionality. And it's actually really starting to hit now. A lot of the interest in the meme tokens is ordinals guys. And that stuff that's going on Stacks. And they're also not just meme token guys. Like these guys are super bullish on SBTC and the stuff that's being built out, the functionality on dexes like Velar and even Alex, and then what Zest protocol is doing, what Stacking DAO is doing, and all the different things that are popping up with different things you can do with crypto on Stacks.
Well, and that's just the thing, dude. Like, okay, so Bitcoin does some things extraordinarily well. The Bitcoin network is a beautiful, powerful tool for the furtherment of mankind. You know, Bitcoin, the currency, is the greatest currency that's ever been created. But Bitcoin, no matter how much you tinker with it, you really just can't make it as good as a smart contract. It's not going to do what smart contracts can do. And you can
supposed to.
Right.
Not
exactly.
supposed to. Right.
You know, so you have your layers, and we just so happen to be on the greatest layer. Now, the reason I like ordinals so much, and the same with you, I'm someone who takes concentrated positions. I don't just spread liquidity into every little thing. You know, after all this time, I found that I do best if I have conviction in something to just go hard in it. So I don't own a bunch of different ordinals collections, but the ordinals collections I own, I'm into heavy. And I think that ordinals are awesome because and Good Kitty says this, and it's a great analogy, and there's wisdom in it because Good Kitty's background is in fine art. You know, if you want to make fine art and have it on the blockchain, you probably want to make that an ordinal. You know, that's probably the preferable way to do that.
Ordinals are forever.
Yeah.
It's always there.
If you want to do some innovative stuff and experiment or just some PFPs or experiment like with kind of like we do with the Stacks Invaders, man, NFTs give you a lot more leeway on Stacks, you know. So there's something huge there, and again, when you get into the meme tokens and the communities, there's just a lot to offer. But at the end of the day, you know, you can't escape this fact. In order for Bitcoin to live up to its full potential as digital cash, as well as being a store of value, you need to actually be able to use it. And you know, that's why things like SBTC are so impressive and important to me, because you can actually build out meaningful financial rails on this blockchain that has this most unique connection to Bitcoin out of any L2. And when people understand that, that's when the whole paradigm shifts, you know. And I agree with you, by the way. Like it is good to always have a percentage of your portfolio that you can allocate to different things that are probably going to do well, because when you get into like a hardcore bull run, lots of things are going to do well. But man, like it's just it's so tragic to sleep on Stacks at this point. You know, people are going to learn some painful lessons.
I I bought yesterday and this morning, and
Yeah.
actually the last 3 mornings I've bought stacks. You know, we're down in the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, right? So where it's not a bad time to buy. Again, not financial advice, but if you are into trading, one easy metric is that Bollinger Bands. If it's up high, might be a time might want to wait until it drops down a little bit. I mean, when everything's ripping, it stays up at the top of that Bollinger Band for a while though. So don't, that doesn't always apply. But if you're just casually kind of accumulating positions, bottom of the Bollinger Band is not a bad way to go. And that's where we've been the last couple of days while people are panicking and dumping. Smart money's accumulating.
Dollar cost averaging is a great strategy, right? It truly is. And when you, okay, so I woke up this morning and the first thing I see, I've done screwed up and got on like a normal sleeping schedule. I so I was like in bed early.
And you need it.
And like,
we're old, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's just sometimes in this space, I'm like, man, if I could just be 20 again for like 3 months, but it is what it is. But if I wake up and I'm seeing like Elon's robot event, like the Wii robot or whatever, right? And you see like these cool Art Deco, autonomous vehicles. And then even like, for those who aren't familiar, native to Stacks, there's a team developing like actual AI on chain that can do on chain things, right?
That's AI BTC, right?
Correct. And
do you know any? I don't know anything about them much, but I have an NFT from them that I got dropped a couple days ago, so I'm going to be able to use it.
No, that where that's generating from is like a big gigabrain portion of the Stacks ecosystem, right? It's a absolutely well-funded big brain venture, and it's going to change the world. And so you see that, and like they bought Rue using an AI. Like that would be cool if it was any token they bought using an AI, right? I mean, it's super cool for me because it's so proud and so cool to see that. But like, dude, how could you not be anything but just supremely optimistic about where we can go as humans at this particular juncture in time? It's amazing.
So they created an AI and it bought Rue. Did they tell? I imagine they might have actually told this AI or asked it, what's the best meme token to buy on Stacks? And it decided that Rue was the one. That makes sense. But you know what? While I'm thinking about it, I really want to say two things. Number one, we've had a few people say hello. Freddie.btc from Stacks Africa. Legend. LMNO, who's actually joining us to help out with some scheduling for our shows. Going to be a tremendous value. He just kind of joined the team yesterday. So DeOrganized and our work is growing, and super excited to have him on board. Nobody famous from the Peppy Toshi group, who is a female for those that don't know. I know we always assume everyone's a male in this space. You can't tell. But she's also very creative. She does a lot of artwork and created some merch. The shirt that Mark was wearing on your show over on Sunday, she created, and I guess she's also dropping some bars. So she's they got a song coming out, and she's also apparently a little bit of a rapper. So I'm very talented, and she's here supporting again. Good morning. So what's up, sis? Nick from Bitcoin Live says hello. I love Nick. He was our featured guest yesterday. If you guys didn't get a chance to check that out, watch it. And Hero's here. Good morning, Hero. And yeah, Hero, LMNO, who you were actually instrumental in putting that together. That's when you Hero's the connector of Stacks. He puts people together that are gonna whose skill sets match, and they fill in the gaps between where you're good at this, I'm good at that. Oh, you need help with this. Hey, this guy might be able to help. That's what Hero's helping with. Putting everyone together. He's the Hero's the glue in the Stacks community. He really is.
It's true. He's an unsung hero.
Well, he's not unsung because almost everyone mentions that they're here because of Hero, right? If you get into that part of the conversation, almost every single person is like, oh yeah, Hero Gamer is the one that got me talking and engaging with the community. And it's true. Me too. You brought me here to some degree, but Hero's the one that got me talking in spaces and really kind of pointed me in a direction that led to creating DeOrganized. He cannot be sung enough, is what I would say.
Right. No, that's a good point. Yeah, Hero was, back when we had the Stacks Advocates, he was such an instrumental part of that. He's one of the people that got me involved with that back in the day. Just an absolute indispensable part of the community, and like everybody who's serious about this, who understands it at the level that some of us understand it, needs to aspire to be like Hero, right? Whatever your thing is, take it to Hero's level. That's the goal.
It's amazing. And then it's just tireless. He's around. I did not know that he was involved in your origination story too, but I'm not surprised.
Doc and Atlas, actually, of Stacks London, were the first ones to broach it. And then like Hero was there. He was already a part of that and like very instrumental in like motivating me and getting me involved and all of these different things. I learned about the SIP process from him. Like all of these things are just, if you're gonna take this to the next level, do it like Hero. That's probably the best advice.
And it's all been kind of in a very decentralized and public way too, which 100%. Is great. Real quick, I do want to mention I have 5 whitelists to give away for Screen Fiends. The mint's coming up this week. I need to get these whitelist addresses to him today. So the first 5 people that comment, I want a whitelist or I want the Screen Fiends whitelist this morning, you're going to get one. And if I don't get enough commenters, I'll just give them away to the 5 people I think are the coolest, which might be just the first 5 people that commented on the show today. But I would love to have some people let me know that they want these. So it's really cool project there. Oh, also I forgot to mention, I don't know how I didn't put it in the ticker. But the core devs announced yesterday they did successfully hard fork the main testnet for Stacks, and they plan on announcing a new block for mainnet hard fork on Monday. So we're probably a week to 2 weeks away from real mainnet hard fork and fast blocks. So we're getting there, people. We're getting there.
We should get those AI guys on a space. We reach out and see if we can get that further out in the community, because they've been building like in relative, quiet for a while now. And, people like the first time people really started paying attention is when we got the NFT, right? So that would probably be a good one to try to get on here soon. Yeah. Sorry, I got a blind kitty that is just climbing up my legs.
Oh no, blind?
Yeah, she's blind. She was born that way, but she's like super sweet when she wants attention, and then she gets her attention and she's fine. But she's no respecter of your time or what you're doing when those moments arise.
Nah, that's all right, man. You look like the inverse Dr. Evil right now.
Yeah, I just need a mini me, man. Then we'll be set. And I guess an antagonist, or would that be a protagonist? I guess
well, it will be an antagonist.
No, dude, this is an exciting time to be in Stacks, and it is hard to wait. That's the hardest part. The patience part is the hardest part to wait. But it's coming, and and people who have been here leveling up, they're going to be so far ahead of the curve. And that's how you do the best. But we're on the cusp of greatness, man. That's really where we're at.
It's to be honest with you, Jack, my biggest I don't understand, like, it's an opportunity actually, but I don't understand why so many people aren't quite interested in getting engaged and involved in stacks. Like I was expecting there to be more people here by now. Not that it is growing. I mean, there's tons of activity going, but like the opportunity for me to get stacks at $1.64 yesterday. I paid $1.64 for stacks yesterday.
Right.
That's super cheap. From where I see it
going.
Speed,
it's speed for one part. But the big thing is just if anyone learns anything from me about market dynamics in crypto, is big green candles are the best marketing. Period. You know, when people go and they check their CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap or Coinbase top movers or whatever it is, and they see that STX, because a ticker, the ticker STX is no more, no better than any other ticker, right? People see that. If they don't know anything, it just registers as just another whatever that probably sucks. So you have to get engaged with that big green candle. And then when you start checking it out and you're like, oh, if you're there, if you're further enough along to understand what this means, then you're engaged. So until we have those real big green candles, you're not gonna, a lot of people, they just look for that get rich quick thing. And that's why people buy tops in the bull market, right? Because they're like, oh crap, I just missed. This is going to go up forever. And they go and buy tops. And then there's a level up from that where it's like people who are like, wait, it's kind of like that joke, I'm in it for the tech, right? Well, unironically, sometimes if you stick around long enough, you get in it for the tech, and if you understand Bitcoin and what Bitcoin actually means, then it's easier to get in it for the tech, once you understand stacks.
Right. And it's, well, yeah, everyone has their own motivations, right? It's, if you're in it for the tech, it's because you believe in the ethos of decentralization, open source building, promoting a fair and functional economy, hard money, and anti-censorship, censorship resistance, and building a better society. That's the ethos around all of this, is about building a better society. But part of that is also creating value. The value that's created has to reflect in price somewhere. And, we're all mortal people. No one's buying stacks for the love of the tech. It's also an investment in the platform. And that could be because you love the tech and you think it's going to increase in value as it develops, or you love the community. And you really think that there's a lot of good people working on stuff. And so you think that they're going to promote the space and add value for the ecosystem, which is also a reasonable thing. It's also kind of love of the tech, but I think that there's a number, it's no one thing for any real successful model, right? It's got to have a bunch of pieces. And I see a lot of that. I'm super encouraged about what's being built up around here. All of the communities, guys like you and the Rubros, Rubes and the Leo guys, Pete from Velar and his participation in the security side of things, Michael from the Syndicate and his stuff that he's doing with the AI stuff, and Paul Frederick and the stuff he's building out there. Really exciting stuff there. The Stacks Link project and Good Kitty and everything that she's building out under that, and all the other people involved. Hattie, you're in there. Off My Lawn, Nieta, Gordon, Hero, Electra Frost, Landy just got added to be participating and stuff. And I mean, there's like 20 some odd people. Hamish actually, I think, is going to be an integral part in helping us formulate governance options. Like this stuff's all coming. Like there's really real stuff happening in the space, like beyond what I've ever really witnessed in other places.
No, and that's the thing. Like when you got to Stacks early, and I mean you're still early relatively speaking, but when you get here, you're like, wait, I can like be a part of something, right? And so if you have that passion, and again, like you made some good points. When you have that passion for what this can represent and what this does represent, then you want to be involved and you want to figure out where you fit in and how you can help push things forward. And that's important because I mean, if you look at two kind of unrelated events this week, you had the Bitcoin documentary, the Who's Satoshi thing that came on HBO, and then you have the We Robot thing that just happened last night, right? So the people look at the Satoshi documentary the wrong way. That wasn't about trying to figure out who Satoshi was. That was about who do you think funded that documentary? That was about people who own Bitcoin.
Yeah, that was super. That was a commercial for Bitcoin. That's what I said to somebody. That was literally marketing for Bitcoin, which is better than actually knowing who Satoshi is anyway. I think if we actually ever discovered who Satoshi was, that would actually probably not be good for price action in the short term for Bitcoin.
Yeah, and the whole thing is just like those guys were saying in the documentary, like we're all Satoshi at this point. There's a truth to that. When Satoshi wrote, you know, he's better at coding than like explaining or writing or talking, that's validation for what's happening right now in this space, because you do need the coding part, and you do need the people who can help explain why that code is important in the first place. You see, so there's something real there. And then if you look at the robot thing, right? And we're sitting here, we're talking about AI. You see all of these pieces that are going to vastly shape our future in ways that's hard to understand. But it's almost unimaginable to picture a future where we understand work the same way that we've always conceptualized it. Because look at those robots. These are like first gen robots, basically, that can already do a whole lot of things. Imagine all of the things you do throughout a day that can now be automated. And then when you add AI into that, as that gets just exponentially more powerful, how much less there's going to be for humans to do. And then you have the hard money piece, and now you have the potential for people to be able to figure out other ways to be useful, the ways that they were always supposed to be useful, and have tools to help facilitate these things, and really bring on a period of human flourishing that seems unimaginable, you know, at times, at the darkest times. But we're in for something amazing here, man. You know, it's so mind blowing to think about.
Yeah, we are definitely living in interesting times, which is kind of like they say it's a curse, actually. May you live in interesting times, because sometimes it's interesting may not be very peaceful. So you saw Staxy's post where she posted something about it, being optimistic about finding companionship with a robot, and that is just tragic to me. That's even something that's appealing to. She's like my daughter's age, my oldest daughter's age. So I mean, I love Staxy to death. She's super talented. She's got a great personality. She's really, really fun and friendly and super nice and like very attractive, very, very attractive. You know, I'm not eligible. Were I eligible, I'd be DMing her all the time. I can't. What is wrong with the gentleman in our space that they have her looking at the reality of a robot?
And here's the thing: it's also going to be true for young men, right? Who are like looking for things that they don't have that they need at a biological level from automatons. I mean that's a potential thing that could happen. And the reality of it is what like what a young woman can vocalize about that frustration is feeling vulnerable, feeling like she needs to be protected, feeling like someone can listen. All of these things that are just fundamentally true that the culture has tried to brainwash people into thinking don't exist. And conversely, for men, like feeling like, an emotional attachment, feeling like, somebody cares about you, feeling like, like physical touch, like actual just, so there's a thing there that, and believe me, I think that this is something that, I mean, I've seen this coming for a long time, and I hope it don't play out kind of like I think it will play out. But we've allowed the culture to make people so confused, right? Because that's really what you have going on. You have a lot of people just walking around completely confused about the nature of reality. And when you're confused and you're lost, you don't have any sense of direction. You don't know what's up, what's down. You have people. This is how sad it is. If the right media personality went on the TV today and declared that the sky is purple, well, son of a bitch, now the sky's purple for about 55% of the population. And that's just how it is. Right. So it's not unsurprising to see this, but it's also not hopeless, because if people can get back to the truth, then they can gravitate towards things that are true. Right. And men have a role to play. We have our own role. You cannot just say, oh, that's toxic masculinity. No, the problem with dysfunctional men typically doesn't stem from too much masculinity. It typically stems from a lack of masculinity in their formative years, right? That's actually the truth. Okay. And then, when you talk about, well, why are young women so confused? Well, good God, it's the same thing, but in reverse. It's just this programming from a young age. It's hormonal influences. It's all of these different things. And none of that has to be real. All of that can be fixed. And we don't have to have robot companions. It doesn't have to be that way.
You're absolutely right. And don't get me wrong, I can absolutely, I get into conversations with Chat GPT that I'm deliberately trying to get some back and forth to help me figure out my thoughts, right? It's the same thing as when I'll have a conversation. I'll engage in conversation with everybody. I actually love engaging in conversations with people on points where we disagree, because I know that I don't know everything, and I love to absorb other perspectives and try to understand why they might see it differently, because maybe I'll see it differently also. But it's a great tool, right? But it's also, there's obviously a lot of risk for humanity here with where things are going. And you said earlier, actually, before I forget and it gets lost in the feed, I also want to just say that in response to my suggestion that I'd be DMing Staxy all the time if I were available, Hero says he's hit his API rate limit DMing Staxy. Jamie says hello. Nobody famous says a great conversation. Very well, very, very true, Jack, what you were saying. And Jamie is our first official winner of Screen Fiends whitelist. What's up, Jamie Fletcher? Rubro, great guy in the space. I know you know Jamie as well. But you had also said that the AI, the robots and the AI are going to kind of take over a lot of the tasks that we currently have, and that there won't be a lot for humans to do. But in reality, just a purely basic economic standpoint, there is always going to be some kind of productive use for available labor.
Yeah.
So if there's a bunch of people hanging around doing nothing or just engaging in less things, there is definitely going to be jobs created for them. Someone's going to come along and say, hey, I'll give you, there's just proper incentivizations. There's going to be work to do no matter what. So it's not,
no, I agree with that.
It's not going to,
and hopefully,
hopefully,
ideally, it'll be things that people actually want to do, right? Because you can remove, the arbitrary necessity of picking a career or a thing to do based on how much fiat you can make, right? Like, so the pie in the sky vision is that people can be empowered to do the things they want to do. Basically, it's like the actual realization of the lie of communism. Like, you take these silly, sheltered, quasi-communist kids who are like, when the revolution happens, I'm going to knit sweaters out of, alpaca fur. No, man. Like, it actually, under a functional system of with hard money, you probably could do that if you want to, right? Like, that's the difference.
Exactly. If there is hard money, then you can produce things of value. The market will just kind of let you know whether it actually has value or not. That's how it should work. Right now, we're so out of whack because they keep just flooding money in, that what is actually considered to be valuable by average people has been very warped.
Yeah. Right now in this country, you have like DEI consultants that make more money than, engineers. Like, let's put this in perspective. You have people who talk about what is ultimately nonsense that can make more money than people who like build the things that we need and design the things that we need for like modern civilization. So
it's not even just nonsense, it's harmful. DEI is harmful. It's
100%.
It's shifting focus from the best person for a job and putting the focus on all of the things that we're not actually supposed to make hiring decisions based on. Well, if somebody's a woman or of a minority culture or racial minority, doesn't matter if they're the best person for the job. That's the only reason to hire somebody.
It's like this. This is I can use this from this anecdote from my own life. The worst thing about DEI is it separates people. Now, in my professional life, I was a male nurse. Okay, so I'm a minority in this profession, right? And at a certain point in this profession, I provided hospice care where you go to people's homes.
There's a Gaylord Fokker joke here.
And like, there is, it's true. And like, you go to people's homes, you're taking care of their loved ones. Like, one of the hardest parts of someone's life, and one of the most important parts to like make sure you're looking after not just the patient itself, but the patient's family. And so here I am, in real life, I'm just like this tall, big guy, bearded, and just don't look the part at all. And you walk into someone's house, and I don't care if that person was black or white, and because I happen to live in an area where that's about 50-50. I don't care if the person's black or white. They look at you like, this is a male nurse. And then like, you just go in there and you just do the work and you take care of these people. And then you never get to the point where the male nurse part happened. It's just, are you capable of doing something, and do you care enough to do it well? That's what matters. But you see, there's no way to grift money from that. You can't make an occupation out of like figuring out how to use other people's performance or status to just siphon off that to yourself, right? So that's what that whole DEI complex really comes down to. It's just a grift, but it's an extraordinarily harmful one. And
well, it's a grift, but it's also social engineering. That stuff comes down. There are people that make these decisions. That didn't happen organically. That was by design. That was inflicted upon us from top down because we have a I call it the corporate establishment, or the ruling class. There's lots of names people have for it. Landy was referring to it as the managerial class, but I think that really more fits to the government. Those are the people that are taking orders, not giving them. They receive orders and then they distribute them out amongst the lower classes. But the upper level sees DEI as a way to weaken us as a society. It's a wedge issue because it's not reasonable. Like, it's not. Don't get me wrong. I think it's horrible to not hire someone because they're black or because they're a woman, or to just pay them less because of those things. That's also illogical. Like, if you're running a business, you should absolutely hire the best person for the job, regardless of those cultural demographics.
And that is what you see more often than not. Like, I can't think of any time in my professional career where someone did or didn't get a job because they weren't the right person for the job. And it just so happened that if you're dealing with small businesses and so forth, you're dealing with someone who has to compete for their piece of the pie. So you want to have the best person possible. And so it makes sense in that sense. But the whole thing is a lot of our problems in the society stem from fiat currency, and particularly where we are in the fiat currency cycle. And Bitcoin literally does fix that. If you look at, I don't know if you saw it, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, TD banks, like TD America or whatever,
TD
they
Bank
paid a $3 billion fine after pleading guilty to basically aiding and abetting the drug trade and laundering dirty money, right? $3 billion. And no one went to jail. Now, I don't know why crypto guys go to jail all the time, but I this $3 billion literal blood money laundering operation did not land anyone in jail. Yet you see politicians in America like Elizabeth Warren and the rest of these just jagoffs who are like, crypto is awful, it's criminal, it's this, it's that. And it's just so transparent why they say these things.
I am sure several of our high-ranking officials have taken money from TD America, a TD Bank.
Of course.
TD Ameritrade is one of their brands. Like, they're trading their financial. They had bought out Ameritrade, so that's why that branding is in there. But it's TD Bank, I think, is the parent. I don't know the details of the story, but I'm not surprised that and part of that is also inflicting KYC onto everybody in order to entrap them. If you don't properly adhere to those practices, now you could potentially go to jail.
There's another one. Fidelity had a hack. So now anyone who's ever done any business with Fidelity, all of the information you have to give them, the KYC, is now, I mean, it's like, I saw someone on Twitter say, my social security number is now public domain. That's essentially true, right? I mean, these things happen so often. And that's why if you take this back to crypto for a second, like, everyone's always like, win exchange, win this, win that. Look, I don't give a rat's hairy ass about centralized exchanges. Okay? Decentralized exchanges are like the future. And this KYC nonsense is not just, like you said, not just a way to hem people up by a government that has so many rules and regulations that you can't possibly literally follow them all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go throughout your day without breaking a law, whether you mean it or not to. That's how many rules, regulations, and laws have been levied against the freest people in the world, right? So decentralized exchanges, there's no reason for centralized exchanges. That's one of those tropes that needs to die. And the more people that start trading on chain need to trade on chain. That's why, I'm always like Velar, because Bitcoin L2s are a meta, and this is a way to trade on Bitcoin L2s, and it's decentralized and it's permissionless, and that's the direction that we have to go. Because
I wonder
Velar can't be hacked and someone find out my social security number, right? Like,
right.
No,
you're right. When is so? I guess the real question is, when does Velar have a fiat on ramp? When can I on ramp fiat into Velar?
Man, I don't know, but that's coming, and I think a big part of that gets back to the regulatory constraints of being able to do any of that. And that's why I'm so hopeful that, you have Donald Trump and Elon Musk and RFK and all these people going into Washington, D.C., looking to just absolutely, get rid of all of this bullshit that is unnecessary. A government should protect your borders. A government should provide a functional court system to help you secure your private property, right? And you can make a couple arguments for just a couple other functions of government, and you realize we're so far past what that is supposed to be. It's nonsense. And ultimately, that's why that you have a hard time seeing that, and it's intentional, and it's roadblocks, and it's there to protect people like TD Banks so that they continue to launder billions of dollars of drug money and then get a slap on the wrist for it, right? No one goes to jail, right? Oh, you make a privacy tool online out of computer code, and you can get thrown under a jail. But you literally
a privacy tool,
right? You literally,
which is actually codified. Our right to privacy is codified,
right?
But now they've created all these laws that clearly violate the basic fundamental right to privacy that's enshrined in the Constitution, which dictates how the government is allowed to act, by the way. Like, they're not supposed to violate any of those rules, but right. Forcing people to identify themselves in order to transact in any way and criminalizing those that build features to protect privacy. Like the only reason why I might want to be private is because I'm doing something nefarious is on its face ridiculous. Like, right. Like you said, somebody's social security number is now public domain.
Right.
That's right. A number also established by the government for that has morphed into a credit score, a credit score attachment identification, which
right.
you have to use to engage with the financial establishment. And it's not secure, it's not protected, and you have no recourse once it's made public.
No, and that's the whole thing, man. Like, when you talk about this idea of like these credit score systems, Elizabeth Warren hates crypto, she hates Bitcoin, but she's pro CBDC. Oh, well, why is that? Because it's quite simple. Because once you have a central bank digital currency, and that is the official currency, then the government can dictate every single aspect of your life. Because if you do not do what they want you to do, they can simply prevent you from being able to participate in commerce. And then if you've outlawed all of the privacy tools for every other crypto, that even better. Now you've got no alternatives. Now you have to become a vagabond to try to just go about your daily life because you didn't want to get this injection, or you didn't want to do this thing or that. And that is not what government's supposed to be, period. and more people need to understand this shit, because this is the problem. Like, this is why things just are sucking so bad, and they just don't have to. It just doesn't have to be this way. People just need to wake up to actual reality, and not, the programmed reality that they've been fed their whole lives.
Yeah, exactly, man. Things have just gotten more and more authoritarian in our lifetime. It was still generally free and open, our society, when we were younger.
Yeah.
So we understand how it's changed. The generation now, they don't really get it. And the kids in school now, man, like, they're not allowed to talk to each other. They get in trouble for having a phone on them. They're the schoolwork is very I'm not trying to hammer on teachers, but a lot of the curriculum and a lot of the stuff they're learning is just trash. It's not helping them think. It's not, there's no critical thinking. It's just about deferring to the authority to tell you what to think.
Right.
And that's again, it's social engineering. They're not trying to educate our children. They're just trying to brainwash them into doing what they're told by the establishment. That's what it's there for now.
100%. And that's why, that's why I'm such a big homeschool advocate, because you don't have to rely on the school system to educate your children. And you also can, there's so many different ways that you can make homeschooling work. I homeschooled our kids. We had a whole great system worked out on how to make it work. And now I've got a son studying electrical engineering at a school with scholarships up the wazoo. Like, there's ways to do it, but it's the same thing about being anti-crypto. It's the same thing about being anti-homeschool. It's ultimately just a power between centralization and decentralization, right? That's what it comes down to, and that's the battle we have to win. And that's what makes Bitcoin great, and that's what makes stacks great, and that is why we have to continue to push to evangelize and make people understand that there is in fact a better way. And so hopefully we keep going down this path.
Hell yeah, man. We're a little bit over an hour, and I know you're a busy man. Great conversation this morning. What do you got going on for the rest of the day? What do you got hitting up for the weekend?
Man, I know we're working on a lot of stuff with Rue right now, and trying to get these runes out in the coolest way possible. I'll probably be on a couple spaces here and there throughout the day. I like to jump in and hear what people have to say. And then Saturday, I think we're going to play around with Realstream a little bit, because clearly you've built DeOrganized to a place where it needs to grow. And in order to grow, we need to pull together and grow it. So I'm looking forward to playing with Realstream a little bit, so that we can continue getting this content out, so that people can have actually good crypto journalism, something that's sorely needed.
Yeah, man, I'm so glad to have you on board too. I mean, you've been a part of this really from the beginning anyway, through Bitcoin Live. And I got my start on ahead of the curve before I started this, and that got my feet wet into it. But yeah, man, we need more people. And so Good Kitty's got a show going on now too. So her Saturday morning show is coming on. Second episode's tomorrow morning at 9 Eastern. You got your show regularly. We got I'm having some regular guests. I see a Giga Pepe show coming on soon. Maybe a Giga Pepe and Reese we were talking about yesterday. I think that would be a great show. There definitely is room for more content through these channels to get out to our community. in a number of ways. It doesn't all have to be news either. Some of it can really just be entertainment oriented or like art related or music related, like Kitty's doing. And you know, that there's a lot to that too. But if you know anybody that's looking to be on a show, talking to the audience, give me a shout, give Jack a shout. Let us know you're interested. Nick at Bitcoin Live. We're looking to have more shows and more talent on here because there is a room for it. We need more people. Like Jack said, there's a lot of developers, and they're not necessarily great at going out and talking about what's going on in the space and what's being built. We need more people bringing that information to us. And or you don't have to have a show. If you just have some information about things going on and you think we should cover it, we need that. You know, we need feedback from the community. What do you want to cover? What do you want to know about? Let us know where we should focus our attention to bring stuff to you guys. But yeah, Jack's going to be more regular. We got LMNO joining in. Giga Pepe is always coming on. Staxy comes on periodically when she has stuff. Xenotron, I think, is going to start doing some morning stuff periodically more often as well. We are growing. It's super exciting, and I'm looking forward to having you on board because last weekend was a little rough when I had to fill in for Nick all weekend running the shows on top of everything else. Yeah. But we got it done, right? We got it done. We have the network, and it's and we're still very early, so I'm super excited about what we're building here.
Yeah, and that's true. Look, if you haven't voted for Stacks at Deck Screener yet, thanks, Jamie, for the reminder. You have to do that. It's the most leveraged thing you can do for Stacks, and it's literally going to take a minute of your time. You know, so just go ahead and get that done.
Oh, we have another winner. Keek. I don't know if that's Keck with a Y or Keek.
The Y is silent.
The Y is silent. We got another winner for a Screen Friends. I have 3 more to give away. If anyone else comments in the next few minutes, you got one. Otherwise, I'm going to give them away probably to a couple of other people that commented early. But we'll give them away.
By the way, this is a good time to bring this up. We're going to be able to whitelist people for runes. So if you want some whitelists for the DeOrganized audience, just let me know. We'll make that happen.
Oh, hell yeah, man. We'll definitely, when you're doing whitelists for another mint coming up.
Well, yeah, because we're gonna have the Rue runes come out, and so you have the invaders and the Rue brews are gonna get some, right? They're gonna get Rue runes just for being a part of this awesome experiment. Not, you have Rue that is unowned sitting in the Velar liquidity pool, and it's an equal amount of tokens basically. So there's going to be some whitelist opportunities. So
yeah, hell yeah, we'll give some of those away. We'll definitely promote that and get that information out there. I didn't even realize that was so OG Rubros are going to get some runes. They're going to be able to claim. Stacks Invaders holders get a claim, and then it'll be like a public claim, some kind of thing. But if you have a whitelist, you'll get that. You'll get in before that. Yeah,
because whatever doesn't get claimed is probably just going to get burned. But we like the idea of being all over Bitcoin, and being on the L1. It gives us a lot of leeway to make cool shit happen, and so this is a good way to do it. And obviously the community is always going to be the first priority, but it'll be an opportunity because the best ordinal collections, the best runes collections, the best any collections, what do they have? They have a good community. And we've already got that. So we want to just take and take the awesomeness of the brews to the L1 also. So yeah, we've got a lot of places we're going. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. And Keyk.btc has clarified for us. It's Keyk. So Keyk has one, and then Squidfin just chimed in. So there's another whitelist for JO, aka Squidfin. I'm going to give one to Nobody Famous because she's awesome and always chats with us. I would give one to Hero, but I know he already raffled his off, the one he got the other day in the space. So no need for that. So right now I got Jamie, Kike, Squidfin, Nobody Famous is getting one. And I'm actually going to look at, I'm going to talk to Freddie or LMNO and see. It'll be a toss up between Freddie and LMNO because they've been obviously tremendous supporters. Or I'll just actually submit 6 addresses and they'll just give them away, right? But yeah, man, I'm super excited about, what definitely. So what's a timeline on the ruse? What's a timeline for that?
It's going to be sooner rather than later. We just whenever Ian and I do something, we try to make it as cool as possible. So we've got like a baseline plan to distribute these things, but we're looking at some other options and kind of working through those to see if there's not a better way to do it. So I'd expect something between now and Nakamoto going live, the speed part. And then we've got more custom backgrounds that are coming for the invaders. And we have Joey, and again, like the DMT mint was a lot of fun. So if you just go a little further into the future, we're gonna have a Rude Defenders DMT mint, and we want to see how that speed, how the Nakamoto speed changes the dynamics of the mint, right?
Nice.
And yeah, so it's going to be really cool.
So that won't be until after Fast Blocks.
Yeah, most of this one.
That won't be a 40-day. That won't be a 40-day mint process.
No, but it's going to be fun to see how it was because man, the Stacks Invaders mint was just so much fun. Like,
it was great, and it was great for the community. It was like something to kind of always keep people engaged. It was awesome. I actually do want to really, while I'm thinking about it too, OG Rubro, GPSC, working on the Tremp NFT. I know he announced that he's going to delay that a little bit to do a little bit of whitelist promotions as well. So be on the lookout for some whitelist opportunities for that too. But you heard it here first. We're going to have some whitelist opportunities for runes. Yeah. Which if you're not into runes, there are only a handful of them that are probably worth having. Runes is probably one of them. It's a day one rune, and it's a tremendous community. So don't miss out on that one. Definitely don't want to miss out on the runes.
Old 300 said we twins, we look alike. And then Trippin' Monkey talking about the flannel. Man, I don't know. Like most of my wardrobe is flannel, but I think they're probably on to something.
Yeah, this is technically a cotton shirt, but it looks flannel. I wasn't going to say anything, but this is actually one of my, like I dress this up. I wear this with a suit sometimes and stuff, because it's a little bit, I went to a Catholic prep high school where we had to wear a shirt and tie. So, but there was a lot of expressiveness with, plaid flannel with paisley ties and stuff like that. It was a trippy experience in my high school for the get up. But yeah, man, Tihana, good to hear from you, my brother. Awesome. Now I have to figure out, maybe he'll get the wait list. But and thank you, Nobody Famous. I love your vibe and your spirit and 100%. And everything, and you're definitely getting one. So we got so many comments coming, I can't end the show. Jamie spoke to Real World Friend today and spoke for about 20 minutes on DeFi and stacks, and before he had to go. And that's awesome. That's the thing that's happening. I'm finding a lot too. I'm getting into conversations with more people that are outside of the crypto ecosystem that want to know about Bitcoin, that don't understand Bitcoin but have questions about it. And it's really, really great stuff.
No, it's true. My wife shows all my articles and stuff to her friends at work, and they're all interested, and And these are people who've never even like put a Coinbase app on their phone. It's definitely growing.
I also have to say, and just conversationally, and I don't actually, when I engage in conversations about politics, I try to really remain very neutral because I don't want people to. I want to hear what people actually have to say. I don't want them to change their. I don't want them to change what they're saying or what the opinions they're sharing based on what I say or what they think I want to hear. So I stay very neutral in those conversations. And while I know the establishment is kind of presenting it as being a toss up right now, I can't imagine. I live in a very blue state, and the majority of people I talk to are either very pro Trump or kind of like neutral in the middle. They don't really care because they don't like the options.
Yeah.
So I don't think, just kind of out of a curveball, I really feel like because this is actually very important to the future of our ecosystem. If Trump wins, it's full go crypto,
Yeah.
and in uh, a much more holistic and organic way. If if Kamala Harris wins and the current administration continues, you're going to see the CBDCs that Elizabeth Warren wants. You're going
Right.
to see the clamping down on privacy and communications and open source anything because they want to close it all down.
No,
So it's very important that people get involved in that.
and it's good that we have the poly market, the betting market, because people are betting on this election, and real money polls essentially are always going to be more accurate than the polls that the mainstream media puts out. I mean, look, if you haven't figured it out now, guys, they made it legal for pharmaceutical companies to advertise on TV. And so now you have like your legacy news channels and even your cable news channels who so much of their advertising comes from pharmaceutical ads. It doesn't come from viewers. It doesn't matter if they have any viewers. So you've got the whole system just hinging on this. So they're obviously going to fudge polls to the best that they can. But Poly Market's looking great.
Yeah, I saw an article. I think you probably saw the same article I saw this morning, where I think they're giving Trump the prediction markets or the betting markets on the outcome of the election have Trump at like a 55-56% likely winner, which is, it was more neck and neck recently. So it's a surge ahead a little bit in that market. But yeah, it's also, it's very, it's very precarious where we are right now, where it's going and how things shake out. And there's definitely a very real difference in the outcome of this election. Even if there's a lot of things I don't care for regarding Donald Trump. It's not the same things that everyone else maybe doesn't care for. I do think that he's still part of the same establishment group. I don't think he's that much of a differentiator as people maybe think, but there is a lot of differentiation where it matters to our ecosystem and what we're trying to do here.
Here's the reality of it. I think if you can agree that like America as an idea is important and all of the things contained in that idea, like freedom of speech, freedom of the press, all of these things, the system of checks and balances, that's important because at the end of the day, if you have a Kamala Harris administration, they've already said, I mean, you're not even have to read in between the lines, like, oh, the First Amendment's out of hand. Oh, the Supreme Court needs to be updated. The Electoral College needs to be gotten rid of. And all of these people who aren't citizens need to be made citizens immediately. And it's just too many different ways to just wreck what America is. And I don't think Donald Trump's looking to do that. I don't think the people he surrounded himself with is looking to do that. And at its core, I could be a single issue voter for crypto alone, right? At its core, that's enough for me. But I have enough certainty that you know Kamala Harris and the people who control her, because that woman is a muppet. I don't know if she possesses an original thought. Their vested interests are not mine.
She's a bootleg fly girl, man. She's a bootleg fly girl.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. It's true. But so I hope it goes. I hope it goes the right way, because freedom is, as we understand it, is not the natural state of mankind. Like, might is right is the natural state of mankind, and so that's what this country was supposed to be all about. For all the places that any human institution can go wrong, at least those ideals are pointed in the right direction, and that's enough for me.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm going to leave it on that note. I think that's a good way to end the show. I'm very optimistic. I do think that things are going to work out. And even if they don't go the way we are hoping, I'm still bullish on, because of the tech, because of how it's been designed. It's unruggable. It's unstoppable. But they can make it really hard for the people here to use it the right way. And
the genie's at the bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome conversation as always, my brother. I love these chats. I'm so glad we've kind of made this a regular Monday thing. I think that there's a lot of good information and a lot of good perspective we're providing to our community as well. So I love having you here. I'm very, very excited about the future of what we're building together here in this space. And y'all, and again, thank you to our viewers. We have a ton of people tuning in right now live watching us. And we none of this matters without all of you guys tuning in. So thank you so much. We do have our 5 winners. So I got the whitelist giveaways to go. I'll follow up with everybody in the DMs to get addresses. And y'all have a blessed weekend. Remember to touch some grass, get some rest. We're doing a lot of hard work in this space, and it's important that you also take some time for yourself and ground and put down the work for a little while. Especially looking at some of you coders that are head down. You guys definitely need to take breaks sometimes. Make sure you're touching some grass, connecting with nature, and having some entertainment outside of your work. Because we need you guys here and healthy and producing awesome stuff like you're doing. So thank you so much. Thank you, Jack. Tune into, I guess the next thing is at noon with the, I'd love to see some people tune into the SIP call at noon on X. A bunch of stuff going on all week. Stacks Africa, Stacks Nigeria, the show tonight, the Friday show. Why can't I think of the name of Dan and Brad's show right now? The Nakamoto Fridays. That's at 5. There's a bunch of stuff going on over the weekend. Good Kitties show. So much happening in the space right now. It's a great time to be excited. And maybe prices are a little bit low. Might be a good time to pump your bag a little bit. Thank you, Jack. Always a pleasure, man. You have a great weekend. I'll be talking to you again soon. I love working with our brother. You're such an awesome guy in the space. And y'all have a blessed weekend. And thank you all for tuning in.
All right, y'all have a good day, guys.
Take it easy.